So I've been off YouTube for about a month, and I want to have a little update video to bring you up to speed on why I had to take this little gap. It has nothing to do with an algorithm. It doesn't really have anything to do with burnout or anything like that. I had a very serious family medical emergency come up very suddenly. And in that moment, my focus needed to be right where it belonged, and that was with my family. I'm not going to go into too many of the details here. It involved my dad, and something that started out as, seemed very minor and very, something that we wouldn't pay too much attention to, and very quickly escalated, and not for the best. I will say that I've realized in all this that my dad plays a more prominent role than it may have appeared before all this in our family. And it has definitely given me some time to sit down and reflect and think about actually some of the stuff we talk about here. The main thing that I want to talk about today in this video, other than the update, my dad is fine. He's home. He's not as healthy as he was before all of this, but he's really close. The important part is he's home. He is healthy. He's got some rebuilding to do. My mom is over the moon to have him back. We all are happy he's still here. But that being said, he was paying attention. And paying attention is something that we talk about here. You have to pay attention. I did a video not too long ago about feeling lucky and being lucky. And there was a study done in there about luck may not actually really be a thing. Everybody that is perceived to be lucky is just paying attention. They're just seeing what's going on around them. They're not just seeing what's in between their shoulders straight in front of them. And that's what happened with my dad. He was paying attention. He was paying attention, and he caught this. And he started to say the right things. We've learned now that he needs to say them sooner. But he was paying attention, and he caught them. And that's mostly what led to the success of getting my dad home. I don't want to say mostly. But that is what led to the success of getting my dad home. Another thing that I was able to pick up on a little bit is everybody around me was choosing what matters. And that also is important. And that's something that we talk about on here on my channel. We talk about choosing what matters. I have a friend of mine that lives in Wisconsin. She is a therapist. And she had told me a long time ago, I had called her for some advice with one of my children. And we were having priority issues. And she had told me, well, there's a very simple exercise you can do. Draw the Target logo on a piece of paper and start putting people in the circles. The inner circle is exactly what it is. That's your inner circle. That's your core. That's your everything. And then you put some people out some further and put some people out in the next one, and so on and so forth. And I can tell you that all the people that I have always put in my inner circle, without me asking, chose what matters. And for that, I am completely grateful. By no means was what me and my family just went through easy. But when you put people in those circles, and they in turn choose what matters without having to be asked, it's a very good feeling. That alleviated a lot of stress for me, for my sister, my mom and dad, my partner. It alleviated a lot of stress to help us make sure that our focus was where it belonged. This threw everything way out of kilter. My dad was paying attention, and that is what helps us succeed. The people that I have in my circles chose what matters. That also led to the success of all this. Those two things alone are something that we touch on here on this channel. They're things I enjoy talking about. I get very in my head about some things, and not in a bad way, but I was thinking today about emotional connections, and what do you have an emotional connection to? Or do you have an emotional connection to something? I was thinking about my dad today, and my dad is that stubborn. He's not going to admit to very much, but you can tell when he should be admitting something. That's his admittance. And he doesn't always understand, and he doesn't always ask to understand. He has also showed me that when everyone else is stubborn, he's soft. When I came out, I didn't know how that was going to go, and I'm not going to say it was forced, but it definitely wasn't chosen by me at that time. But when I came out, my mom, who was the warm, the loving, the wrap your arms around you type, couldn't quite wrap her arms around any of it. She didn't do anything wrong, and she didn't say anything bad. Like, I wouldn't say it was a bad experience, but it wasn't what I thought I was going to get from my mom. It actually was what I thought I was going to get from my dad. And I remember my dad just walking out in the garage, and when I was done talking to my mom, I went out in the garage, and there was my dad. He was there to give me a hug. And he just wanted to know if I was sure. And I told him I was sure. But in that moment, he wasn't stubborn. He was soft. He was caring. And even though that's not what he wears on his sleeve, that is what he has on under his coat. And it took this for me to realize that. There were a lot of realizations in what my family and I just went through. For me, anyways. For me. So here's how I want to end this. I want you to do a couple things. One, pay attention. Pay attention to what's going on inside, as well as what's going on outside. Give yourself an opportunity to succeed or get better or to make a change. You're worth it. The people that are around you, they also are worth it. Give them a chance. The people in your circles, give them a chance. The next thing I want you to do is make sure that you choose what matters. If you're choosing something and in the big scheme of things it doesn't matter, don't waste your time on it. Just move on. Find something that matters and spend some time with that. The last thing I want you to know is when life hits hard, pause. Make sure you're focusing your attention to where it belongs. It may be a quick refocus, and it may take a little bit of time, but that refocus is really going to be what catapults you back into where you're supposed to be and what you're supposed to be doing. I really appreciate everybody taking the time to watch this little video. I'm going to get back into the swing of things. I have a couple of videos already planned in my head. Takes a little bit of time for them to get out of my head and into the camera, but that's my fault, not yours. So again, I appreciate you guys being here for me coming back from my pause. And my name is Tim, and I'm glad you met me.